Right, I've come out today on the hunt for a bass. Now I'm going to be fishing some new ground, which, well, I say new ground, I've been here a couple of times in the past, but I don't often fish around here, to be honest. I fish a place very close to here, but yeah, this specific part I don't really come too much. I never caught anything here on the few occasions that I have tried. It's a long old walk out, and I was going to go and dig some bait in a bit when the tide gets a bit lower. So since the tide's dropping now, I thought it would be a good opportunity to head out onto these rocks and give it a go. I can already see someone else fishing. So yeah, let's give it a blast. It is a long old walk out here. I haven't been out here in a couple of years. Now the good thing is it's a pretty big tide. Just on the back end of some spring tides. So you can get out pretty far. It's a lot lower than I thought, actually. So yeah, I'm just going to try and find a suitable place. To the left hand side of me is going to be the most comfortable, but sort of fishing just over sand. To the right is a lot rougher, but going to be fishing straight on into the wind, which isn't ideal. But if I can find the right lure to throw against it, then I will. Just going to head out the back and see what it's like out there first. Well, I'm pretty much as far out as you can get at the moment. Really interesting. Like I said, I haven't been around here in a couple of years now. Forget what the ground's like and the areas you could fish. Actually a pretty long way out. You're about a mile offshore. So yeah, maybe not somewhere you'd want to be late at night, but we'll give it a go. Some of these gullies are pretty deep. There we go. I'm not really too sure even what I'm casting into. It looks very reefy. There's a rip coming across there, which I'm guessing is over shallow ground. And then I think it drops off deeper to the left. And it's really rocky close in. And there's sand further out, which is straight into deep water. But I'm just kind of targeting the shallower, rougher areas first. Just see where that rip is going through, if there's anything lingering on the other side. Right, I'm going to move further around now, which means I'm going to be fishing into the wind a bit. But it looks a little bit better around the other side. So we'll go check that out. Giant rock pool there. It's about 6 foot deep, that thing. Right, I'll have a couple of casts from here and keep moving along. You beauty. Oh, it's in the tide. I've got to keep it high up and it's swimming down behind a rock. No, no, no. Oh my God, it's on top of a rock. I've got it over. Sorry you can't see much, but You absolute beast. Well, can I get this up? I was adamant I was going to lose that then. But there we go. One bass on the Evobass lure. You little ripper. Check that out. Not big, but still nice. Put up a good scrap that in the tide. But I'll just get it unhooked and get you a better show. Well, there we go. One little bass. Oh, he's a lively one. He's very lively. There we are, one bass, taken in the tide. Absolutely beautiful, I'm really happy about that. Easily unhooked, just in the corner of the mouth on the Evobass launch. I'm going to get straight back out there while I can, while that tide's ripping through. That's the area I was saying you want to hit, just where the tide's coming through. On the, just on the side of it, that's where they're going to be hanging out. So yeah, I'll get this fish back and let's get another one. There we go, one more show. It's got its fins up, ready to go back. Got a wave coming in, so I'm just going to drop him in there. And off he goes. Happy days. So without wasting too much time, I'm going to get the lure back out there. But there's a huge opening here. This is where the tide is ripping through. And I was just casting my lure to the end there and bringing it through these rocks. That fish actually had to pull over these rocks here. It took a dive just before. So I'm going to blast it out there again. And I just let it float in the tide and giving it a few twitches with a very slow retrieve. That's it. So yeah, let's do the same again and see if we can find another. So back out we go. Just let it drift in the tide. And I was just giving it a slow retrieve like this. Just with the odd twitch in it. And hopefully we get slammed again. This is why it always pays to move when you're lure fishing for bass, especially when you find areas like this with a lot of tidal flow, big reefy areas where it drops off to deeper water as well. If you don't have much luck in one spot, just move along, try different areas, because you may not come across big amounts of, like, large numbers of bass, but the chances are there's going to be a few lurking about. Now I'm going to wait until the tide drops a little bit, because if I can get onto those rocks there, fish into this bit, I'll have the wind behind me. That looks like a really deep gully though, so I'll see if the tide drops further enough. I might be able to jump over it, but if not, I'll head round that way. But then I'll be fishing directly into the wind then, so I'll have to clip on a heavier lure. So these here are the rocks that I had to bring that fish over. Just managed to get a bit further out, so I'll give it a go from here as well. Oh, I'm on. Yes, I had an initial hit then. I reckon that was another one come back. Oh, they certainly go well in the tide. I reckon there's a few bass here, because I'm sure I could see a few others lurking around it. And this is a nicer fish. This is definitely a nicer fish. This is actually a very nice fish. Proper dark golden colours Come here, buddy, come here. That is a beauty. That's a good 4 pound fish there. Check that out. Yes, you absolute beauty. Right, I've got to get off these rocks, I've got a wave coming. Now check that fish out. Don't know if you can see on the camera, but it's got like dark golden colours to it. That's got to be tipping 4 pound, that fish for sure. Near on 60 centimetres. What a beauty. Again on the Evobass lure. I got hit by a smaller fish at first, and then this one popped up and slammed it. But look at that. What a session. New spot found. Well, there we go. 60 centimetre. It's got to be 4 pound. An absolute stonker. Now I'm going to get back fishing straight away. Now, I'm actually going to keep this fish in Guernsey. There's no law at the moment for shore fishing, as long as it's over the 42 centimetre. I haven't kept one in a long time, so I'm actually going to keep this one for the table. But I'm going to keep fishing, and if I get any more, they'll all be going back. Right, let's get back to it. That tide is dropping pretty quickly now, so I don't know how long the fish are going to be here for. Now, like I said, I don't often keep bass. I'll only keep them every now and then, and I haven't had one for a long time, so that one's going to be coming home with me. But if I do happen to catch any more, if they're still here, they'll all be going back. Now, one thing I'm glad I did do is, after I caught that first fish, as soon as I started fishing again, I tightened my drag, because there's so many deeper gullies they can just dive down here, and if they go deep enough, it'll go behind a rock and just snap you off. The braid will snap easily on the rough rocks. So with that being a bigger fish, I'm glad I had a tighter drag, because it went some towards the end. Well, I think I may have just seen a little swirl on the surface there, not far from the lure. Could have been something else, but I'm going to chuck it back out there. So hopefully these bass are still around. It's all about the slow retrieve with these lures, and they just glide. They've got a really nice gliding action just in the tide. I would say the slower the retrieve, the better, really, especially at night time and this time of year. Although a bass is still going to hit a lure travelling pretty fast, but I'd say they're not as active as they are in the summer. I mean, you can still catch them on surface lures and things, but you've got a lot better chance with a slower retrieve on a lure that works well in the tide. It's just my personal opinion. So glad I decided to come out here. Like I said, it's near on a mile offshore, so you can only get out here on the big tides. And yeah, I've not been out here in a long time. I think the last time I came out here, it was in the summer. It was a really bright, sunny day. Conditions are a lot better today. Got a lot of haze and cloudy and overcast, with a bit of wind and a bit of rough in the sea. good tide movement, so can make all the difference sometimes. Right, I think I'm going to start heading back now. Tide's dropping really quickly, so this is the thing with these big tides, you get very short windows in the areas you can fish. This is where I was stood for the first fish, and as you can see, it was these rocks here I had to get it over, and then it got caught on, just the very tops of them. And it's all starting to dry out a bit more now. So yeah, the tide moves really, really quickly, and the fish will move with it. So you can keep heading round and trying to find the spots. That's always the best thing to do, follow the fish, follow the tide. But yeah, I'm going to start heading back now, and if I find any other good areas, I'll have a few casts. I might head back but from the other direction that I came, so on the right hand side, and yeah, see what's about down there. Right, that's going to do it for this afternoon. Probably about an hour and a half all in all. I'm just started my way walking back now. It's a long old trek, but yeah, I was walking back the other side, and it's just too windy. Fishing straight into the wind's not ideal, and I'm happy with catching a couple of bass. And like I said, we're allowed to keep them here in Guernsey. We're not under the UK laws, so as long as it's over the legal size. At the moment there's just a ban here on landing any bass on boats, but yeah, from the shore it's okay. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Nice fish from the table. My Evobass lure has taken a bit of a pasting, but yeah, luckily I've got a few more. Now I have nothing to do with these Evobass lures whatsoever. I know I bang on about them, but they just work. So, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're brilliant lures to use, especially when there's a lot of tide running. You can just let them dangle in the tide and twitch them about. So yeah, I might go out again tomorrow, or over the weekend possibly. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you like it, please like and subscribe to the channel. Plenty more videos on there, loads more bass fishing. So yeah, thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.